Hey everyone, it's Rachel with Rachel's Wig Reform. Today I want to show you how I use my hot air brush on my non-heat defiant synthetic wigs. This is Alessandra by Jon Renau. Now I have cut her. She comes much longer than this, but she was a little too long for me, so I trimmed her up. She has just recently been washed. This is the first time putting her on since washing, and I am going to run my hot air brush through her. Every single time I put this wig on, I run my hot air brush through her. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this with some of your wigs where they start to separate, like it'll start to go into like little clumps. I don't know how to explain it. It's happened to a lot of my wigs, but running my hot air brush through that really helps the situation. Which hot air brush do I use? This one from Sally's. When you expand the description box, I will put the link in there so you can see exactly which one this is. Now, before anybody has heart palpitations, I know this is a metal barrel. I know it. It does not damage my wigs at all. I use this on almost every single one of my straighter, non-heat defiant wigs. In fact, I only have one wig right now that is actually heat defiant, and I use this on all of them. It works. There's no damage. So, do you have to use this one? Absolutely not. You can do this process with any hot air brush. This one just works for me, and it's not damaging my wigs. If it did, I would not even be doing this video. The other thing I like about this is that the attachment comes off, and you'll see me using this a lot to help redirect parts or my bangs and kind of use it as a blow dryer. So, I like that feature on it. All right, so before I go and run the brush through it, I will comb it out just to make sure that there's no snarls in it. And I use this just on a medium heat, never like a real hot heat. And what I'll do is I'll just go in, grab a chunk of hair, and I'm just kind of running it through the ends. So I'm never like holding it 100% still. And I'll just kind of brush this through the top also. And then I just keep, and I'm kind of curling this inward. But you could pull it just straight down too if you wanted to. And then just kind of grab some pieces from the back and do the same thing. And then I'll come over here to this side. And I just keep running it through. So that's how I run it through the ends. And I don't know if you can see the difference from when I first put it on, but these pieces over here were separating more. They were kind of getting a little clumpy, and that hot air brush just kind of makes it all flow again the way I want it to. The other thing that I notice when I use the hot air brush is I do it every single time I put this wig on. I do this process, and I notice that it does not get as tangly in the back either. Now, there's another way you can use this hot air brush to give yourself some lift. If I wanted some more lift here in my bang area, whoops, then I go, well, I'll pull up a section, and then I'm going to take the hot air brush, and I'm going to over direct it to the opposite way. And just kind of brushing that through. Now, once I do that, this is kind of warm still. I'm going to let that cool here before I flip it back over. Okay, and see how that gives it that bump. See how it now has some lift to it right there. And if I wanted more lift, I would just keep doing it. And I could do that same process all the way around, back into the crown and on this side. In fact, I'll do it on this side real quick so you can see also. I just over direct and then make sure you let it cool. Okay, let it cool a bit. All right. So see, that gives it some more lift around the face area. And it also helps keep the bangs out of your face a little bit more when you give it that little bit of lift. And you can see this looks flatter now because I gave it lift here on these. You could easily just pull this crown up and over redirect it forward and let it cool, and then have it settle down for some lift. Now here's the other thing. Let's say you have a wig and it's too poofy for you. You don't like the lift. You can take it and brush it through and give it a more smoother look. So it's just as easy to give it that sleeker, not as, kind of pulling on it a little bit here. If you want it more sleek and not as poofy at the top, you can also brush it through that way. The other thing, sometimes you'll get like those little pieces that start to break off and they're kind of sticking up. You can brush that down too, and it will help keep those laying flat and smooth throughout the day. So that's it. That is how I use my hot air brush. And like I said, every single time I put this wig on, that hot air brush goes through it. There is no damage to it. In fact, it feels softer and easier to comb. It gets less tangly throughout the day, and I like it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, make sure you follow me on my Facebook page, Rachel's Wig Reform, and I'll have that link along with the hot air brush in the description box below. And if you have any questions on using a hot air brush on your non-heat defiant wigs, don't be afraid to ask me the question. Okay, we'll talk with you soon.